Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Another of Andy Ruiz Jr.'s sparring partners has emerged, with Gerald Washington, a top 30 heavyweight out of the United States, posting to his social media that he's been working with the champ. So they have been training in California, and Washington himself, he is coming off a very good win recently over Robert Helenius. He's 6'6", a big puncher, so he sort of fits the bill, the mold of a guy that Andy Ruiz Jr. would want to spar with ahead of a rematch with Joshua. Similar height and dimensions, and it's not a bad sparring partner at all. And as we know, he's also been working with another American heavyweight, Michael Hunter. This came out earlier in November, Hunter posting to his social media that he'd been working with Ruiz Jr. And it's more than likely because Hunter and Washington have been sort of sparring together as well in the same gym with Ruiz, and a couple of other names have been there too. You can see here on screen Charles Martin, who also works with trainer Manny Robles, so the same trainer as Andy Ruiz Jr. More than likely that he's been giving Ruiz some rounds as well. And you might be thinking, well, he's a southpaw, what can he get out of that? But having a good heavyweight like Charles Martin, who's a top 30 guy, just some good solid rounds, some variation, different style, just a few things that he can give Andy Ruiz Jr. some good work. It's not necessarily about having all guys who were the same height and sort of orthodox like Gerald Washington, because obviously Michael Hunter, he's a smaller heavyweight as well, and we know he's been working with Ruiz Jr. That's some very good sparring, having the likes of Washington, Hunter, and presumably Charles Martin. And I'll just go to Charles Martin's Instagram. This is an older photo. This is from 2018. They've sparred a lot together in the past, so it wouldn't surprise me if they've had a number of rounds in this camp as well. And given that they're training in the same location, they've both got upcoming fights. Martin is fighting in December, later in December as well. They have probably been working together. And likely on the right here as well, you've got Adam Stewart, who is a heavyweight prospect. He is 8-0 with one draw. He's a big guy as well. I think he's 6'7". I'll just go to his box rec here. 6'6", so roughly the same height as Gerald Washington as well, and obviously Anthony Joshua. 8-0 with one draw, mostly low-level opponents, but in terms of a sparring partner, obviously he's working with a number of these guys in this photo here, and presumably Andy Ruiz Jr. too. They will be working with each other in the gym. But in terms of the sparring for Ruiz Jr., I mean, we know a lot about Joshua's camp. He's got about 8 sparring partners that we're aware of at the moment. But until now, Michael Hunter was the one that we definitely knew he'd been working with. Gerald Washington, well, that's a lock, and presumably Charles Martin and Adam Stewart as well. That's some very good sparring for Ruiz Jr. And like Joshua, it seems there's sort of no stone unturned for this camp, this 3-month camp ahead of the December 7th date. Obviously, they want to put their best foot forward, have good guys come in, give Andy Ruiz Jr. some hard rounds, and in return, guys like Hunter and Martin, they have fights coming up as well. It's beneficial for them too, because obviously they've got their own fights to think about too. But actually, just quickly before I wrap up the video, this is Timothy Moten's Facebook page. So obviously, with some of the talk of the different sparring partners, someone has put together a graphic. I think it's actually from someone's video, but you can see the likes of Washington, that photo that I had up on screen before, and they've got 4 of the guys who've been in camp with Joshua, Moten being here on the right. He's been one of the main sparring partners for Joshua. You've got Hussein Mohammed, a prospect out of Germany, Andrew Tapiti, very fast hands, he's a cruiserweight, Bryant Jennings here on the left, and we know that there's been other guys as well, like Tom Little, Derek Chisora, and Albon Pervizaj, and I might be forgetting 1 or 2 others, but Joshua's had a number of fighters come in and out of camp, but Moten has been a constant throughout pretty much. And he's saying here, who you got, Team AJ or Team Ruiz? In terms of the sparring partners and all that sort of stuff, I mean, I'm not going to get into that sort of debate because it's not necessarily a competition about who's got the better sparring partners, because that in itself is subjective. I mean, Ruiz Jr. might be working with a smaller number of heavyweights, and Joshua clearly has had quite a big camp bringing in a number of heavyweights for different things. I mean, Timothy Moten, a smaller heavyweight, Hussein Mohammed, he's 6'5", Andrew Tabiti, a cruiserweight, Bryant Jennings, 6'4". They all do different things, and they will give Joshua different looks, different work, as will the guys who've been working with Ruiz Jr., Washington, Hunter, Martin, Adam Stewart. They don't provide the same things, but they will be giving Ruiz Jr. lots of different styles, lots of looks, and everything for both of these fighters will be beneficial. But I do like what both these guys have been doing, and I think Andy Ruiz Jr. sparring with Gerald Washington, it makes a lot of sense. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.